In a time long ago, in the land of Egypt, the children of Israel were fruitful and multiplied greatly. They became exceedingly mighty, and the land was filled with them. But a new Pharaoh arose, one who did not know Joseph. Seeing how numerous and strong the Israelites had become, he feared they would one day rise against Egypt. So he devised a cruel plan to suppress them. The Israelites were forced into harsh slavery. They were made to work with bricks and mortar and toil endlessly in the fields. But the more they were oppressed, the more they grew in number. This only increased Pharaoh's fear and cruelty. Then, Pharaoh gave a chilling decree: every Hebrew baby boy must be thrown into the Nile River. Only the girls may live. During this dark time, a man from the tribe of Levi named Amram married a woman named Jochebed. She bore a beautiful son and, fearing for his life, hid him for 3 months. When she could hide him no longer, she made a basket of papyrus, sealed it with tar and pitch, placed her baby inside, and set it gently among the reeds by the Nile. His sister, Miriam, watched from a distance, wondering what would become of her baby brother. Down by the river, Pharaoh's daughter came to bathe. She saw the basket, opened it, and found the weeping child. Her heart was moved with compassion. "This must be one of the Hebrew babies," she said. Then Miriam stepped forward and asked, "Shall I get a Hebrew woman to nurse the baby for you?" Pharaoh's daughter agreed, and Miriam brought the boy's own mother. Pharaoh's daughter later adopted the child and named him Moses, saying, "Because I drew him out of the water." As Moses grew, he became aware of the suffering of his people. One day, he saw an Egyptian beating a Hebrew slave. Overcome with anger, Moses killed the Egyptian and hid his body. The next day, when he tried to break up a fight between 2 Hebrews, one of them retorted, "Who made you our ruler? Will you kill me like you did the Egyptian?" Afraid his crime was known, Moses fled to the land of Midian, where he lived in exile as a shepherd. There, he married Zipporah, the daughter of a Midianite priest, and had a son named Gershom. Years passed. The king of Egypt died, but the suffering of the Israelites continued. Their cries reached heaven, and God remembered his covenant with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. One day, while tending his flock near Mount Horeb, Moses saw a bush that burned with fire yet was not consumed. Curious, he approached. From the midst of the flames, God called out, "Moses, Moses." "Here I am," Moses replied. "Take off your sandals," God said, "for the place where you are standing is holy ground. I am the God of your father, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob." God told Moses he had seen the suffering of his people and would deliver them from Egypt into a land flowing with milk and honey. He commanded Moses, "Go to Pharaoh and bring my people out of Egypt." But Moses hesitated. "Who am I to do this?" he asked. God reassured him, "I will be with you." When Moses asked for God's name, he said, "I am who I am. Tell them I am has sent me to you." Still doubtful, Moses worried the people would not believe him. So God gave him signs: his rod turned into a serpent, and his hand became leprous and was then restored. Even then, Moses said he was not eloquent. God, angered but patient, appointed Moses' brother Aaron as his spokesman. So Moses returned to Egypt with Zipporah and his sons. Alongside Aaron, he stood before Pharaoh and declared, "Thus says the Lord, let my people go, that they may hold a feast to me in the wilderness." But Pharaoh scoffed. "Who is the Lord that I should obey him? I do not know him, and I will not let Israel go." Pharaoh hardened his heart. He accused the Hebrews of laziness and ordered his taskmasters to stop providing straw for their brickmaking, while still demanding the same output. God then sent Moses and Aaron to confront Pharaoh again, performing signs and wonders. Aaron's rod turned into a serpent, swallowing the rods of Pharaoh's magicians. Still, Pharaoh refused to yield. So began the 10 plagues. The Nile turned to blood, the water was undrinkable, and fish died. A plague of frogs swarmed the land. Dust turned to lice, yet Pharaoh's heart remained hardened. Swarms of flies, they filled every house, except those of the Israelites. Death of livestock, Egyptian cattle died, but the Israelites' animals lived. Painful boils, afflicting both man and beast. Devastating hail, destroying crops and people caught in the fields. A plague of locusts, consuming what remained after. Thick darkness, covering all of Egypt for 3 days. The death of the firstborn, from Pharaoh's son to the lowliest slave. Before the final plague, God instructed the Israelites to sacrifice a spotless lamb and smear its blood on their doorposts. This act of obedience marked their homes, and when the Lord passed through Egypt, he spared them. At midnight, death struck every Egyptian household. Pharaoh, broken and afraid, finally relented. He summoned Moses and Aaron and cried, "Go. Take your people and leave Egypt." The Israelites departed in haste, their arms full of silver, gold, and garments given by the Egyptians. After 430 years in Egypt, their journey to freedom had begun. God went before them by day as a pillar of cloud, and by night as a pillar of fire. But Pharaoh changed his mind and pursued them to the edge of the Red Sea. Trapped between the sea and Pharaoh's army, the people cried out in fear. But Moses raised his hand, and God sent a strong east wind. The waters parted, forming walls on either side. The Israelites crossed on dry land. Pharaoh's army followed, but as Moses stretched out his hand again, the waters crashed down, drowning the Egyptians. The Israelites, now free, stood in awe of God's mighty power. With hearts full of faith, they looked ahead to the journey through the wilderness. Toward the land promised to their ancestors. Their deliverance was complete, but their adventure with God had only just begun.